Papua New Guinea and welcome to another episode of Business PNG. Following the signing of a memorandum of understanding 1 year ago between the Pacific community and the Papua New Guinean Government to mark a new era of closer development cooperation, a team from the Pacific community were recently in the country to discuss 3 key areas of collaboration. These areas are youth statistics for development and geothermal energy.
Hydropower at present makes up 40% of Papua New Guinea's installed power capacity due to the optimal conditions and terrains for hydropower plants. According to the Oxford Business Group, the second major power source to be developed in the country was geothermal energy, initially exploited to power the Lihir gold mine in New Island province. Geothermal energy is the heat from the Earth's core and, simply put, is clean and sustainable.
So geothermal energy has many forms, but the form that we are here discussing is the easiest form, and that's the geothermal heat that's linked to volcanoes and volcanic heat. So what you need is a ground source of heat. So this is where under a volcano you have like a magma supply. A magma is where you have liquid rock close to the surface. This is at a temperature of 1,000 degrees centigrade or something like that. It heats water in the upper parts of the crust. That water circulates and it also produces steam. So the geothermal energy will tap that hot water and that steam, which then drives turbines, which then can generate electricity. And the interesting thing is actually you can get it on many scales. The biggest power station in the world, geothermal power station, is in the US, west of the US, and that's 7 terawatts, I believe, which is very much bigger than PNG would need. But on the other hand, I visited one in Japan recently, which is only 250,000 kilowatts, and it's only the size of a football field and only costs $1 million to actually develop. So we're talking about village level or groups of village level type developments for that. So all different types of scales of development are possible.
PNG has 3 electricity grids that service part of the highlands, the Gazelle Peninsula of New Britain, and the Port Moresby Capital Township. Most of PNG is ungridded with respect to electricity, and this may remain the case for some time. Around 87% of the population does not presently have access to electricity. Lack of access to power is a major inhibitor of economic development. PNG's electricity roadmap has a target of bringing electricity to 70% of the population by 2030 and has a roadmap to get there, although it is recognized that there is an ambitious target. PNG's Strategic Plan 2010 to 2030 forecasts a growth in installed capacity from 500 to 1,970 megawatts, with geothermal energy producing almost 20% of this figure.
The population of Papua New Guinea is around about 8 million. At the minute, 87% of the population don't really have access to regular electricity. This will change rapidly. You know, the roadmap for Papua New Guinea is to get at least 70% supplied by power by 2030. Now that is an ambitious target and an ambitious roadmap. To get there will require a number of different types of energy source. So we might look at fossil fuels, for example. We will also look at hydropower, which Papua New Guinea has now. There's work going into wind energy. There's certain parts of PNG where wind is a very strong energy, a strong source of energy and a big potential. Europe, for example, has gone very long down the wind power route, and some countries in Europe now, on a good day, can power their whole country from wind. So PNG is rightly looking at that. And the other one is solar power. We all know with our mobile phones these days that battery technology is improving so much now. So batteries can last 8 or 10 hours now. And so I think solar power for lighting in rural communities is going to be a big option moving forwards to at least get lighting to rural communities. But for more energy intensive needs, we're going to need things like geothermal. So geothermal, gas, coal, oil, these are the ones that will be these will be the heavy producers of electricity for the base load.
Though geothermal energy is the second major power source to be developed in PNG, little is known about this renewable energy source. The volcanic belts around the country are home to significant amounts of active volcanic activity, including 55 known geothermal sites. According to the Geothermal Energy Association, PNG's geothermal potential is estimated to be at 21.9 terawatt hours, which is enough to meet all our electricity needs well into the future. Michael Peterson, Director for the Geoscience Division at the Pacific Community, states that this figure may be in theory only, as developing this energy source takes a lot of effort. However, just half or a portion of this is still a significant amount, and if harnessed correctly, can power the country for millions of years to come.
That's in theory, yeah? In practice, probably only part of that could be realized, actualized. But even if it's half or a quarter or even a tenth of that, it's a very significant contribution to the power base. To get geothermal energy off the ground requires a number of things to happen. First of all, it's a knowledge of the resource. And I know that the Mineral Resources Authority here in PNG, they've been working particularly in places like New Britain and Milne Bay and other areas, but those places in particular. And West New Britain, for example, looks very promising as maybe the first area where we could roll out a fairly large power station. Of course, this has got to be decided down the line. So that's one thing, is understanding your resource. The second thing is getting the investment climate right. Papua New Guinea has so much experience in doing this, though, in other areas. Look at your mining industry, which has been going 60 years or so. Some of the biggest world-class mines in the world, working with some of the biggest multinational companies in the world. So the Papua New Guinea government has already proven for decades it can get the investment climate right. If it can do it in one area, there's no reason why it can't do it in other areas. And although the upfront costs of geothermal are quite high, the running costs once the plant is up and running are quite low. So over time, it's you really get your money back. And in theory, it can last forever. You know, volcanoes last at least 1 million years, which is a long time for people in a human time scale. So if we look after the heat and we look after the resource, then the plants can go for decades and hundreds of years in theory.
Studies have estimated that the country's geothermal energy, sourced by the many active volcanoes, will be enough to meet all its electricity needs well into the future.
Hello and welcome to Business PNG, all the way from Vanimo in West Sepik province. We're going to look at the growing airline industry in Papua New Guinea, and we feature PNG Air. With the inclusion of its new ATR aircraft, the fourth one, Alpha Tango Charlie, it has made its maiden flight into Vanimo Airport. Let's look at the story. Since its rebranding in 2015 and with the introduction of the new ATR 70-600 aircraft fleet, PNG Air has provided a new beginning for the company's significant change and its bold plan for the future. PNG Air now has 4 ATR aircrafts that are servicing Papua New Guinea. The latest is Alpha Tango Charlie. On September 8, 2016, Alpha Tango Charlie made her maiden flight to Vanimo, West Sepik province, often referred to as Sundown. The flight was under the command of Captains Damon Parkinson and Rafael Come, with other operating crew members Kapi Area and Gina Pote. This Vanimo sector has been serviced by PNG Air's Dash 8 aircrafts. However, in an interview with PNG Air Vanimo port manager, the inclusion of the ATR service will improve capacity.
Vanimo has been desperately needing services. They have been offloaded passengers complaining, and now I think it's going to be a great relief to the people of Sundown, Vanimo, and general public and the public travelers in Papua New Guinea.
Now, there is a very high demand here with passenger and cargo movements, especially when West Sepik province shares a border with Indonesia.
The loading out of here, I see it's high, the demand is high. Passengers is high, and I think, I believe it's going to be a great relief to the demand out here, because the public servants and the companies, those traveling in and out, the Asians coming in here. There's a gateway to travel into Mosby, lay elsewhere they go.
It was a surprise for commuters to Vanimo town who flocked to the airport to catch a glimpse at the new aircraft. The people of Wasipik province have welcomed the air services provided by PNG Air through its new ATR aircraft. And this flight services will also promote regional tourism and allow people to choose which airline to fly with. Now, Peter Tutu worked with his airline operator from its humble beginnings as MBA and shares the success story behind the many challenges, which is history.
History belum mi pin school la Aero Club na mi pin ikamu mi bla training pilot langap na mi kamu ko ande MBA movie one bla pioneer staff tu Cherry mi bla pin work one them long tisla time mi bla start off one lig Cessna 206 one bla Islander na air commander now am tinda labot minus staff all raus impinis ya mi bla all pioneer staff bla MBA mi bla work one them lapun power block company John Wildhead saya mau implementation long samurai am pin one partner one them Milne Bay provincial government asal only partnership long only all lugum sem tesla one operation planning no successful also now pull out all provincial government lo Milne Bay pull out na emet one operate na time tala stop long 1993 mi bla wini ma tesla routes long Papuan region now mi bla crawl at that time 206 you go kisim sampla mo islander okay mi bla operate go now mi bla winim contract Lake Kutubu moro yagu oil tisla now mi bla MPA one them all partners plan all by Tonia now mi bla usim mi bla operate lot that time.
Peter told Business PNG that he has seen the airline grow from strength to strength.
Amma also me kama pig na one contribution lo mi karim kai yeah mi bla operate go now pian sali mall twin notice now start location
With safety being paramount to PNG Air, the ground operations staffs will also given hands-on experience with the many training that will enable them to handle the aircraft when it's on ground. And training sessions has already been conducted by the ground operations training supervisor Yvonne Posse to the staff here at Vanimo.
Welcome to another segment of Entrepreneur Engage here at the new Red Rock Bar, 15 minutes out of Port Moresby, where we join the owner, Stephen Kilage, who tells us more about the outdoor bar and the activities that it has to offer.
Yeah, my name is Stephen Kilage. I'm the owner of Red Rock. Basically, I own a security firm called Corporate Guards, and we wanted to put a security base here. So if you drive in, you'll start seeing we're trying to build a security area, parking area for our security base. And we came up here doing some of our training runs, and we saw that we use it for our functions. So a couple of my friends and family asked me to kind of open a bar. So we originally built that small one for little family gatherings and stuff, and then seeing the kind of vibe that's generating. People generally like the view and the wind, so I decided to open the bar up. So that's how Red Rock kind of started. Initially, when we dug this area, there were a lot of red stones, so we just decided to call it Red Rock. The manager is Carol Weber. She used to run Club 69. Okay. I myself run the club along with Carol, but the staff, basically general people around here, 6 Mile, and yeah, just local staff. There's about 10 to 12. Cost because of lack of infrastructure. We had to build the roads ourselves. There's no there's no water. There's no power. So we're actually looking at getting solar power. And currently, right now, we're pumping water since there is no Edirano line coming through here. I guess I think most of it's because of the view, and then our friendly staff. Yes. One thing we key on is also the music, and the breeze here is all day. You get this nice cool breeze coming in, and then with the music, we try to attend to details on service and little things like that. Having clean facilities. If there's any complaints, we'd like to address it. Yeah, we like to give back. We're a Papua New Guinea company. We do have. There's a boy that was suffering from cerebral palsy. His name is Sally. We gave the area for free. So we do like to help give back to the community. So if there's anyone out there who needs medical appeal to Singapore or whatnot, we'd love to help out. All we want to do is sell our drinks, so if we can help them sell tickets to whatever they want. Yes, we love to expand. Our plan is actually to have bungalows here and turn it into like a resort. But it's quite hard with the economy and nationals going to banks and getting loans without equity and things like that. We open on Wednesdays to Sundays, so that's 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. So our license is issued by the Central Provincial Government, so it's from 10 to 12. 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, ladies' night is basically it starts from 6 to 7. We give special invites to a couple of our patrons, and it's basically it's kind of like we call it a hen's night, where ladies come in-house cocktails for an hour. If you don't get an invite, you can pay 50 kina and you can come in. The 50 kina gets you. We've got a lot of games by. There's a group of boys called the Heartbreakers, and they come in. They're a good bunch of guys trying to do something. They get out there, do fun games with the ladies, drinking games, whatnot. It's not a strip show. A lot of people think it's a strip show. It's not a strip show. It's just guys playing fun games, entertaining the ladies, free cocktails all night. So the girls, we tried it out last week. It was good. The girls really enjoyed it. We do want to expand and finish the bar. There's certain things we want to do, but because of the economy being so tight, a lot of, especially my other company, that's where I'm getting most of my cash to build this place. And it's really tight right now. Everywhere, every business in Papua New Guinea is really feeling the punch. Back in the day, you can get checks drawn up every month, but now it's taking longer for companies to draw out checks. A lot of companies are kind of winding down, and we're feeling the punch too. In that, a lot of business is not coming because a lot of people don't have money to spend anymore. But usually, we get our business from our, non-government organizations.
And that's all from us tonight. For more business news, or if you would like to view this episode again, visit EMTV online at the URL at the bottom of the screen. Or for up-to-the-minute business news and updates, like our page on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Business PNG or on Tumblr. Until next week, have a pleasant evening. I'm Michelle Bird, and this was Business PNG.